This is probably not a setup for you. Probably the ugliest pot stand I've ever seen. Chicken stuff. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode, or I don't guess it's really an episode. It's more of just a quick video to talk about stoves. One of the things that I love to talk about, and one of the things that I collect. If you guys have followed this channel for any period of time, I'm kind of a gadget guy, and specifically I'm a stove guy. I just like all kinds of stoves, man. Twig stoves, alcohol stoves,
gumbo, pan fried, deep fried, stir fried,
gel stoves, turbo stoves, you name it, man. I'm probably into it if it involves fire. Fire. So what I got for you today is a Trangia, or Trangia, depending on how you want to pronounce it. It's a little, it's their micro kind of ultralight system that involves or uses a alcohol gel stove. And I'll get into it and show you here in just a minute, but I'm a Trangia fan. I like their alcohol stoves. And so this, when it came out, I was kind of after the pot, which I can buy separate, but I didn't have a gel. So I thought I'd break that out and kind of show you guys what all goes into this. Stoves are something that you can get them to very specific, very niche, very needs driven, and then there's some that you can kind of the contrarian approach, and that's what Trangia does. Is it's just, if you're in a hurry, then this is probably not a setup for you, or most of the stuff that they have is not. There's much more efficient fuel sources and stove systems and styles out there to use this. Folks that are using this are not in a hurry, and they're just kind of enjoying their time and the processes in the woods, I think. And there's pros and cons, but really there's so much more technology that's out there that will make what you're doing with a stove much more efficient and effective and easy on you. So if that's what you're into, then by all means do that. But for a lot of us, just cooking something on some old technology or something that's maybe not quite as efficient, but it's more of a romantic process, if you will. But for now, let's look at what you get in here. And it's got a little kind of locking lid mechanism. Comes with their little pot stand. Now, I will tell you that this is probably the ugliest pot stand I've ever seen. That's their, we'll get to that in a minute. But this is their pot stand. It's kind of a hammered, it's all aluminum. Everything that Trangia makes is aluminum. But yeah, it's not very beautiful, not very eye-catching or appealing. This is just their little Trangia alcohol gel, and I've already been using it and stuff. I've got some gel fire starter stuff. It's readily available at Walmart. You can put a bunch of different stuff in here. You can put hand sanitizer, whatever. A lot of the stuff that you're going to put in here, why you put it in and whether you put it in there again is going to depend a lot on the soot and the kind of mess that it makes. But I know there's a lot of people that follow this channel that are not really into bushcraft or these types of things. And maybe this is your first kind of foray off into this type of stuff, is through this channel. You're probably into truck camping and things like that, and obviously I am too, but there's some really cool aspects to this, and if nothing else, it's my hobby, and I thought I'd share it with you, just kind of collecting these types of things, and I enjoy cooking off of them. It's not a simple process, like I said, but I do enjoy it. So let's do a quick burn test with this. Let's see how long it takes to boil about, let's say about 10 ounces of water roughly. So we'll take that off first. And I'm going to put that right down in there, and you can see it just kind of sits and pops in those little tabs down there. Now you can fit a spirit burner, or their alcohol burner. I think they call it a spirit burner. You can fit the alcohol burner in there. When it comes to this pot, I like the size. I like that it all nests in there. One of the things I don't like about it is the fact that it's got graduated marks on here for the somewhere. They're never where you can really see them. There it is. 0.5 liters. So I don't know if you can see that. It's just got the top one marked, none of the others. So you just kind of have to swag it, and I mean, you can figure it out eventually. But I'm going to put about, like I said, about 10 ounces in there. Oh, real quick, the pot, because it's kind of hard to get it on there if you're not really paying attention. The pot's got little grooves in the bottom, or a lip on it that fit perfectly with that stand. Now I think this pot handle, most of these aluminum pots, if you don't cook with them a lot, maybe you don't know this, but they will become handle heavy. And see, I don't like that necessarily, that design there. That will become handle heavy until you put something in it. So best way I've found to do this is to just pour the water in first. And this is just roughly, no, it's kind of chilly. That's probably, excuse me, that's probably about 60 degrees or so. Let me get a camera over here and get an angle on this so you guys can see this. All right, let me see if I can get this started with a ferro rod here. There we are. Like all of these kind of alcohol stoves, it doesn't take a lot to get them started, but it's hard to tell if they are started because of the color of that flame. Now, this pot does have, or the lid has a little strainer on there. Now, I have seen where these little plastic parts have burnt, and I think one of the tricks is to kind of turn your handle up like that. I think that's dumb to have to do that, but it is what it is. We should probably put a timer on here. Now, we just wait. I'm not using any additional windscreen, which I typically would if I was really wanting to do this. To try to maximize the efficiency and the speed in which it boils. I obviously would, but by and large, this is something that if I'm using this, I'm not in a rush. It's one of those lazy coffee mornings, and I'll just set this over on the side or any of these types of stoves. Just kind of set it and forget it. Walk off, do some things, come back, and while I'm cleaning up camp in the morning, then the water's boiling. I don't have to sit here and dote over it and things like that. It's not that big a deal. It's not going to, that's the other thing about these types of stoves or any alcohol stove. They're not going to get that full, hard, rolling boil, right? We're just spilling out of the pan, typically. So you're going to be able to do this, walk away from it. And it's an open flame. Don't be an idiot. Don't walk off and leave it and burn the whole countryside down. But you don't have to sit here and monitor it like you would a Jetboil or something like that. That's only going to take a matter of a few minutes, which is what you may want if you're really craving that coffee. But I tend to not be in a rush if I don't have to be. And so these types of stoves work perfectly for me. Fire. That's hot. In case you're stupid like me and didn't realize it. Again, this is not something that you're going to do if you're in a rush or anything like that, or if you're making coffee for a large group of people. But it's perfectly acceptable if you're not in a rush, or maybe not even coffee. Maybe you just want to boil some water for a dehydrated meal, which is what I used the alcohol, the T, whatever, T26. I should probably know that. Their other burner, I used it in the video where I made the donuts and stuff to cook Mamu's camp kitchen meal stuff. So things like that, Mountain House, dehydrated meals. Again, if you're in a hurry, then get something else, man. Move on. Go to something else that's going to be a lot more efficient for you. But there's just something, again, cool about using some type of alternative system to cook your food with or make your coffee with, that I enjoy anyway. If you're going to use these types of stoves, pucks, gel stoves or alcohol stoves, understand that they're going to generate a lot of heat on the top side and on the bottom side. So if I was to touch underneath here, it is very, very hot to the touch. That's why I've got it on this little table. This table's from a company called Soto. It's a Japanese company, and they make a lot of camping accessories and stuff. Really, really like that company. Quality products. But yeah, this is absorbing and taking off all of that heat that would be in the bottom. And I think we're boiling here. So let's take a look here real quick. And we're right at that 10-minute mark. If I bring that back up here, I think that's a little bit misleading because I think we were boiling, yeah, we were boiling a little bit before that. So probably about 9.5 minutes maybe. Put that over there. And then how you're going to extinguish this, I'm just going to take and screw it up. There we are. And that'll extinguish your flame. So the Trangia Micro little mess kit here, is it something that I would recommend you buy? Probably not, unless you're into this stuff like me. This is not an efficient method. It's just not. the alcohol stove, which I just posted a video on a new one that I'm burning in, and I'll have a comparison up pretty soon. It's a Trangia knockoff. I would go that route before I would this alcohol. Now, the alcohol is easy to use. It doesn't leak out. And so there's a plus, I guess, but it does take an excruciatingly long time if you're in a hurry. If you're not, no big deal. Throw this in there and knock yourself out. Now, I don't like this. Just full disclosure, I don't like that. I've got 2 or 3 other ones that I think are are better than this one. I think that this will get relegated into a pit somewhere in my office in a bin, and then I will use one of those other windscreens or something like that, and I'll stick in here. I do like this little pot. Now, this kit's around 35 bucks, maybe 40 bucks, something like that, depending on where you buy it. It's way overpriced, absolutely overpriced. You can pick this up, I think, for maybe 7 to 10 bucks. And so there's a bunch of crap. They'll want to sell you the lid separate. I just don't think that it's worth it. This is very cheap stuff. There's a lot cheaper products out there that you can get that are going to do this just as effectively, if not more so, for a fraction of the cost. I think Trangia and I love them. I have a ton of their products. I just think that they missed the mark on this. I just don't think that it's up to their level of quality. The burning of this gives me concern. I like the pot, but I'm not going to pay, and I don't recommend you pay $40 for basically what's a $10 piece of kit. I just don't. So guys, that's it. That's the Trangia Ultra Micro, whatever the hell they call it. That's the Trangia Micro Ultralight or something like that with the gel puck stove. If you like these types of reviews or this type of content, let me know. Drop me a comment in the in the comment section, because that's where they go. But I've got a ton of this stuff, and I can break these out. Some of them are very historic, some of them are very old, obviously, because of that. Some of them are new and different. But if you like me kind of running through these and kind of telling you about them, then let me know if it's something that we need to do more of. Or if you absolutely hate it, and because Preacher's not here and you'd rather just look at him drool, then let me know that as well. We can make that happen. Until then, folks, hope you have a great rest of your week and put a little gravel in your travel.